Good evening. I'm going to do away with most of the other discussion. I think the primary concern is from most folks here and out in the folks viewing from home as well, are the city's regard to and how we are reacting to the COVID-19 coronavirus and what steps the city is taking and how we're going to move forward and address the ever-changing situation. I have issued a memo last week to all council members and department heads as well. We update the department heads actually quite a bit, and we had another meeting this morning or this afternoon discussing changes. It's an ever-changing, quick-flowing situation, and we're trying to keep ahead of it with how we react and the information we put out. So I want to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and read most of it. So you've already seen it, but the people out in the general public probably haven't had this information. So it's a good place to start the discussion and to tell everyone about an update as to what we're doing. The City of Forest Park is part of the Hamilton County General Health District. We use we use Hamilton County Public Health as the city's health department. Hamilton County Public Health serves more than 481,000 Hamilton County residents residing outside the cities of Cincinnati, Norwood, and Springdale. Basically everybody else that is not in Cincinnati and those other two cities. Hamilton County Public Health is one of 113 local health departments in Ohio and is part of a highly organized prevention and response effort for the coronavirus. The agency is in lockstep with the Ohio Department of Health, Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, and managing protocols for prevention and, if necessary, mitigation of cases of COVID-19. The City of Forest Park has been and continues to be engaged in the Hamilton County Public Health as an essential partner in responding to the public health issues surrounding the outbreak. We have a seat at the table, and we have had a seat at the table since day one. City of Forest Park relies on information provided by the health professionals at the Hamilton County Public Health, the Ohio Public Health, and the CDC, and their informed guidance is how we properly respond to the outbreak. This guidance is updated in real time as the situation continues to evolve. The objective is to make clear, rational, data-driven decisions to protect the public and not take imprudent or unwarranted actions that may sow unnecessary fear and panic among the citizens we represent. As such, in order to ensure, to limit, and to mitigate the spreading of misinformation regarding the city's response to the outbreak, all official information regarding the City of Forest Park's response to the outbreak shall be provided only by one office. That's the Office of the City Manager. That's me. The City Manager will provide updates to the public, to the citizens as necessary, or as required based on the information and guidance provided by the public health experts. We are using the public health experts as, to determine our response. They're the experts, and we will be governed by their recommendations. Hamilton County Public Health is in conjunction with the Ohio Department of Public Health, the CDC, the World Health Organization, are closely monitoring the COVID-19 situation. And for the latest county and national information, we have a link at our website that is to the CDC, the Hamilton County Public Health, and the Ohio Department of Health. They issue updates daily. They issue them, some of them hourly, depending on how things change. Due to Governor Mike DeWine's orders to close all public schools for 3 weeks and banning public gatherings of more than 100 people. Now that's 50, and as the mayor says, it's probably going to a lot lower number. To prevent the spread of COVID-19, and out of an abundance of caution, the city is implementing social distancing practices. So you can see here, if you want to know why we've changed the look of City Council, that's the reason, is because we're practicing what we're preaching. We are open for business at this time, but we recommend phone calls or emails instead of in-person contact if you have to do business with the city. We will accommodate those who need to drop off paperwork or items. If you need a permit, if you need tax returns, we have drop boxes and we are available to take that information. We are discouraging and are limiting actual access to the building from the general public for other than dropping off information. So let's get into a little bit of what we've done. We are, rest assured, planning every day, and this thing changes all the time, and I guarantee it will change by tomorrow. So from the administration standpoint, as the mayor said, he and I have been meeting regularly, quite a bit over the last several days, and trying to craft the city's response. And so he's been actively involved with the administration and with the employees in crafting this response. City leaders have been monitoring the information in the news and are keeping close contact with the area's key leaders to stay on top of the developments. The city is communicating with employees on measures to put in place to avoid infection, including providing additional hand sanitizing station, increasing cleaning measures, and limiting public access to the city administration building, as we just spoke of. They also have discussed future steps that could be taken if necessary to lower the impact of COVID-19 in the workplace. In the event that an outbreak in the U.S. with the objectives of reducing transmission among staff, protecting people who are at high risk or have adverse health complications, maintaining business operations here at the city, and minimizing the impact of services to the community, and ensuring continuity of governance. The city is working closely on a plan of action for all city operations in the event the pandemic progresses further. As mentioned earlier, all Ohio public schools will be closed for at least 3 weeks, and many of our employees have school-aged children and will be profoundly impacted by this. The plan currently being devised will determine a list of essential personnel to ensure essential services are being performed. For instance, payroll, safety services, police, fire, executive management, to name a few, IT services. If a city employee is not classified as essential, they may utilize any leave balance, vacation, personal, comp time, sick, to take care of their household during this time. Well, it's not possible to offer formal telework arrangements for all employees. The city will consider on a case-by-case basis requests from employees that can feasibly work from home during this time. While not all positions are conducive to telework, those positions with primary job responsibilities that can effectively be performed remotely will be given consideration. In the event of further closures of government mandates, we will issue further directives and circulate them to the employees. Police and fire department leaders have implemented increased health and safety measures for their staff. Fire and police department personnel are all designated as essential employees and will be expected to continue to provide services as usual during this outbreak. They are taking steps within the fire and police department to protect themselves and to protect their employees and to make sure that they're following the best safety protocols to limit their exposures. Their leaders have participated in conference calls with Hamilton County public health officials regarding COVID-19. Officials said at these meetings, officials have said from Southwest Ohioans are at low risk for becoming infected at this time. However, this can and will change rapidly. Obviously it has, as the outbreak progresses. They also discussed the communication strategy and the creation of a framework for municipalities within the county that become impacted. Police and fire departments are suspending some non-essential functions, including CPR classes, AED classes, and so forth. Outside training classes, bringing people in to train in our facility. All of those non-essential functions that we deem there is discretion as to when they can be done, we are using our discretion to move them out into the future. Communications, the city will continue to communicate with the public about COVID-19. Information sources on social media, our website, Facebook, Twitter, also have a significant, over 2,000 email addresses for individual residents who have registered with the city. We also have Swift 911, the Swift system, where we can provide robocalls and information out that way in the event that there is something that we really need to get out. All information and communications regarding the City of Forest Park's actions and policies will flow through the city manager's office, and no other source should be considered authoritative. We want to make sure that there's not a big rumor mill going on. We don't want everybody thinking and passing along bad information. So we're telling the public that if it's not from the city manager's office and official to our website, that it's not an official response, and they should take it with a grain of salt. All calls, inquiries directly related to the spread of the virus will be referred to the Ohio Department, should be referred to the Ohio Department of Health and the Hamilton County Public Health Department. City of Forest Park is separate from the Wittenwood School District. We have met, and we are coordinating our efforts with the city, with the Wittenwood School District, but the public needs to know that we are two separate entities, as well as the Northwest School Districts. All questions related to the Wittenwood School District or the Northwest Schools, local school district, should be directed to the appropriate district. We have a link that is provided on our website, and it's at the end of the notice as well, to those districts for information. And we have received calls with regards to school closures and so forth and referred those folks to the appropriate individuals at the school district. Mayor's Court, due to the coronavirus concerns with our health and safety in mind, as part of that, our city employees, again, we want to protect our city employees so that we can continue to govern the city and continue to work. We want to reduce, our overall effort is to reduce exposure for our city employees. Mayor's Court, that was originally scheduled for 3/19, March 19th, a couple days from now, has been canceled. Regular traffic and minor misdemeanor cases have been continued till April 2nd. We'll reevaluate after that date. If you have any questions, please call Mayor's Court at 513-595-5224. Again, that information is available on our website. Tax cases will be continued to the next tax court date, which is May 21st, 2020 at 6 p.m. Prior to your court date, you will need to contact the tax department to finalize your tax filing for the years in question. You can contact the tax department at 513-595-5211 if you have any questions concerning your tax situation with regards to a tax case. Again, anyone who has any questions concerning this, they can be directed to the Mayor's Court office. Again, 595-5224. Tax filers. It's tax season. This couldn't come at a worse time in terms of the city and what we need to do in terms of collecting taxes, as well as filing taxes for individuals. In response to that, again, for the safety of the city residents and the city staff, the tax department will not be seeing residents in the tax office to do their taxes. You may drop off your taxes, drop off your information. We will receive that information. Our tax preparers and our tax analysts will then take that information back to our back office. That is to keep people, because normally they would come in and they would sit in the back office. There's a significant amount of, that's our finance department as well. We don't want to expose those folks to, at times, over 200 people a day. So we are limiting that access. We will prepare your information, prepare your taxes, and contact you either through email or through telephone to let you know what the situation is. In response, you can also e-file at forestpark.org. You can pay on ePay at forestpark.org as well. You can mail your taxes directly. Drop boxes are available here at the city in the front and outside. They're located between the fountain and the employee entrance and just outside the main entrance. We would hope that most folks would file e-file. That would solve a lot of problems and use the ePay to pay any outstanding balances. If an individual taxpayer needs the city to prepare the local income tax return, again, drop off the required information, including W-2s, your federal 1040, to the drop box. Currently, the tax department will make copies of it and hand it to you back. There will be someone here that can do that. We expect that to, quite frankly, to stop within the next couple of days. The returns will be handled as we would normally handle them. We are extending the due date for payment. So the taxes are still due April 15th. However, we're extending the payment date an additional 15 days without penalty, so that we can handle everyone and get their taxes done and make the conversation back and forth. The Senior Center and Parks and Recreation, again in keeping with the governor's orders to limit mass gatherings and in conjunction with the public schools closure, the need to protect the most at-risk population, which is the senior citizens. The Forest Park Senior Center will be closed beginning March 16th. We will continuously reevaluate the situation, updating the status of the closure. All city-sponsored programs, classes, and events taking place within the Senior Center during this time will be canceled, except for the March 17th voting, which, as of right now, is still on. That may change by tomorrow morning. It is, if you're watching this, it is the 16th, Tuesday night, the day before Election Day. Any existing Senior Center private rental reservations will be honored at this time. Those are private events which the city has entered into contractual arrangements with. However, we are in the process of contacting all the folks who have rented the facility and strongly suggesting that they either reschedule their event with us, and we are offering other dates. We've also extended our ability to cancel an event without penalty, and we'll return folks' deposits and so forth as needed. We have been, in terms of the Recreation Department, Senior Citizen Public Works, we are, they've increased the cleaning process. We're now making sure we wipe down and clean the facilities, all of the facilities, not just the Senior Center, thoroughly and comprehensively in the morning and in the evening, and again to try and prevent as much of the spread of the disease as we can. City Council meetings, again, they're going on as scheduled. However, as of the writing of this, they were scheduled, but now we're going to be in recess. Again, we are taking the social distancing protocols, and again, you can see we are spread out. This can be a situation where if there were council members and there was something that was really heated and important, this could be a source of more than 50 people could easily come to a council meeting, and something that could be very problematic. In the meantime, you can watch city council meetings live on Waycross Media. You can watch them through Spectrum Channel 23 and Phi Optics Channel 853. You can also watch them online with waycross.tv/Forest Park. So those are the ways that we're trying to maneuver this situation. In general, we're looking at sort of our protocol is to identify possible work-related exposures and health risks and address them every day. Review the human resources policies to make sure that our policies and practice are consistent with public health recommendations and consistent with existing state and federal workplace laws. And we'll be offering that information. We've received several requests for information from the public with regards to if they're laid off, do they still have health care? Not our employees, but other folks are calling us for this type of information. We're not experts, but we can refer them to the Ohio Department, or to the Hamilton County Department of Jobs and Services, and they'll have all that information with regards to health care and unemployment. We've also had a lot of questions about that. Our website will provide links to those sources so that people can find that information for themselves. We're making sure that we're flexible, and we're trying to use best practices. We're looking at our supply chain and looking at the types of things that we have to buy that are most important, making sure that we have valuable and trusted sources, and that we can continue our operations without a shortage of something that's vitally needed, such as gasoline or things like that. We want to make sure that we have processes in place. We have, earlier this year, we switched to credit cards for gasoline, to gas cards. And so our employees do not have to rely on our fuel tanks or some other company bringing gas to our facility. We can buy gas all around the city so long as there's gas available at anywhere in any place. So that's one of the things we've done. Again, we're looking to explore whatever and establish policies and procedures and practices that allow us to have a flexible work site. Telecommuting will be important. Our staff is not that big once you get past police and fire. Most of our people are essential. Our job is to make sure that the people are safe, that our employees are safe, and as best as we can, and to limit their exposure and the opportunity for them to get sick. But we still have to serve the public. That is our primary goal, to make sure that if you call the police, they'll show up. If you call the fire department, they'll show up. Our public works folks, we've looked at staggering starting times and assigning individual vehicles to individual employees so that they don't cross-contaminate vehicles. We've done that. The public works will have staggered starting times. They'll be reporting directly to work sites rather than to one central location. So we're doing things like that. We're also looking at staggering work times for our finance department so that everybody's not sitting there all together, so that we can maintain continuity. We've identified business functions that directly impact the citizens, in particular the tax department, permitting, making sure that we can get our inspectors over there to the schools so that doesn't slow down waiting for us to inspect. If you need a permit, if you've got a bad heating and air conditioning unit and you need a permit, you can come here and apply for it by dropping the stuff off. We want to make sure that you're not going to have to wait 3 or 4 weeks to get a permit to put a furnace in. So those are services that the city needs and citizens need, and we're going to make sure that they're maintained, but we're in the process of making sure that we have the right types of protections for our employees and weigh that against the ability and the convenience of our citizens. We're working on our communication and information plans. Again, we've looked at not only information to the citizens. Again, we can use all of our different options, but also communicating to our employees. If we end up having to shut the building, and some of them have to basically they can't come to work. If that ends up being the situation, if they have non-essential personnel and essential personnel, we need a way to communicate with them directly. So whether that's their home cell phones, email addresses at home, and we're testing right now our IT and setting up IT services so that folks can work from home. We're also setting up the Skype and other ways to have meetings so that people can be working from home and still be in touch with the folks up here if we're still open. So all of those things are what we've been doing for the last week. And we're still doing it, and we're still testing it, and we're still working on it. And we're trying to make sure that we fill all the gaps where we can. Obviously, there's something's going to slip through. But we're trying to do all the what-ifs and effectively manage the situation as best we can. And rest assured that our staff is right on top of it. They are plugged in to the county, to the state, to the feds, and we are doing everything we can to make sure that the citizens can still get the services that they need.